So, good morning, Lucy Bassett. Thank you so much for coming along today to speak to me. It is an absolute thrill to interview you. And I'd just like to ask you what it is to introduce yourself to the audience, because everybody wants to know who you are and what you do. So can you tell us a little bit about your personal life and your business, please?
Okay, my name's Lucy Bassett. I live in Plymouth. I run an eco-friendly domestic cleaning service. So we help clients with their homes in Plymouth and out in the countryside. And we also do a few buildings like a church, for example. So that's nice. I have 2 children. I'm engaged to my partner, and we just sort of generally enjoy the outdoor life that you get in South Devon. So we had sailed GP here at the weekend, it's a bit like Formula One, but on the water with big fast racing catamarans, and that was absolutely brilliant. So we just make the most of Dartmoor and the sea. And I used to work in banks and building societies, and then eventually I ended up in teaching. So I was a primary school teacher until I decided to go self-employed.
Oh, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So what made you start your business in the first place? Because eco-friendly cleaning, which I think is brilliant, and I think the whole world now, everybody, particularly since COVID, is getting more into eco, and we're all becoming so aware that we need to do it. But you've been doing it quite a while. So what made you decide to start your business, and why eco?
Oh, well, actually, I've always been interested. I've always liked housekeeping. And in a way, it used to be like my hobby. So at the end of a stressful week, wherever I was working, I'd come home and I'd sort of de-stress by cleaning the house. I've always liked eco-friendly products. I really don't like the smell of bleach. So I think that might be what first pushed me towards, finding products or making products that were environmentally friendly. And I always thought I wanted my own business because I think I grew up in Lewes in Cornwall, and most people had their own business. So
your dog's enjoying himself.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, yeah, Sophie, can you get rid of the dog, please? So sorry, I actually locked them in the lounge, and one of them's escaped. So sorry.
Yeah, yeah. Do you know what I love about this? It just shows that we are all just normal women with normal lives, with dogs that misbehave when we don't want them to, with all these sorts of things. So yeah, it's absolutely fine. It's a miracle that Bobby isn't jumping up here. Honestly, it's incredible. So sorry, yes, carry on about the bleach and the eco, because I find this fascinating now.
I was just always interested in housekeeping, but in not using harsh chemicals. So I didn't like, the smell, and it's funny, it is only fairly recently that most people are really conscious about it. But it was just always sort of an interest of mine. And then when I went into teaching because I was having my daughter and I wanted something that fitted in with family life, and I enjoyed it, but I didn't think I'd do it forever. I just always knew I'd probably, want my own business at some point. And I was looking around, just looking at catering businesses and lots of different types of businesses. And then in the end, I just thought it made sense to do something that I understood. And I really understood why people who were busy or retired really needed somebody else to go and do their cleaning, because it can be time consuming. It can be quite challenging because we've got customers with arthritis and various problems. But having had a busy life, unless you love housekeeping, why do you want to spend your whole weekend, doing your ironing and your housekeeping when you can actually have somebody else come in and do it much better for you, actually?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, I've got a cleaner. Number one, first thing that when we went into lockdown and they said the cleaners couldn't work, I nearly had a stroke.
That was really hard for us. We had to close for 3 months, and you'd think, what are clients going to be like? Particularly elderly clients. What's it going to be like for them? Because sometimes it's nice for them. It's nice for them to have the house clean, but also it's nice for them to see the team members go in, because it's somebody to have a little chat to, and keep up on the world, and so it's more than just cleaning sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. I can really see that. I really can. And what's the thing about your business that you love the most?
Definitely getting good feedback from clients. So it was nice. We had a new client start recently, and she said she'd forgotten what it was like to come back to a clean and tidy home. So that was really nice. I do like employing people. I've got usually about between 6 and 10 part-timers working for me. So, you know, providing local employment is good. We've got a nice varied mix of properties, everything from 1-bedroom flats up to quite large houses, church. Sometimes we do offices and other workspaces. So, but mainly it's just getting, you know, the good feedback, and my team members like helping people to keep their homes. And sometimes it can be, you know, for some people, they can stay in their home for longer if they have cleaners in than if they don't. So that's quite a positive side to it as well.
Oh yeah, I never thought of that. That for elderly people, that's part of social care, isn't it? If they're getting in trouble and keeping on top of things, I suppose that is. Oh, how brilliant! What a brilliant side to your business. How absolutely fantastic. So what you've got your business, and then last year you decided to join the WOWS Hub. So
Yeah.
why did you decide to join the WOWS Hub? Because it was in really uncertain times, particularly for a business like you, where lockdown meant you couldn't have a business, and there was all these things going on. And what were you hoping to get out of it?
Yeah, COVID has been really, really hard for us, because obviously we had to close, and then we've got some vulnerable and elderly clients that haven't had us like they used to. So it's been, so now it's a case of rebuilding up again and getting all the clients back. So it was such a challenging year. And obviously there's no network meetings or people meeting like normal. So I was sort of looking around, and I'm not quite sure how I came across the WOWS Hub, but I think it was the Life Begins at 45 group. I was looking at that and found the group really, really supportive, and sort of giving advice at the time I really needed it. And it was nice to feel part of an online group where everybody's so supportive. You know, nobody's negative. We've all got different types of businesses or trades or professions, but the group's supportive, and some of the problems you have are actually common to everybody, even though you work in really different areas. So that's nice. So I just felt it was the right type of support at the right time.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And how long have you been there, and what do you really love? What do you really, really love about the WOWS Hub?
Well, definitely the sort of the supportive and social side of it. So even though it's online, at least we can all see each other. And over the last year, we've all got used to perhaps socializing online rather than going out and meeting up. So I really enjoyed that. I think I've been a member right from the start, but I'm not quite sure. Can't quite remember.
September. Yeah, in September. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it's mainly, and it's also when you've got your challenges, you know, for hitting goals or increasing turnover or getting more clients, or learning to do a new type of marketing. It's just nice to know that other people have been through it, and also that there's online advice or masterclasses that show you how to do it in an easy way.
Yeah,
So
I think that's the thing. When I started it, one of the reasons why I started all this in the first place is I kept going into groups, and I couldn't learn in there because they were all so tech savvy, and they were all like going click, 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 you do this, click, 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 and I'll be like, what click? And it's also, it's really nice to be able to say, I don't actually understand this, and not feel stupid, because that's really important, isn't it? To just be able to say, I don't understand how this works. Could anybody help me? And not that you're being silly.
Yeah, I'm not. I've always used tech in my jobs, but sometimes it's been very specific. So when I was in educational banks or building societies working in the past, what you used was so specific. It wasn't something you could take to being self-employed. And I never used to do social media or anything like that. So yeah, I've had to learn more tech, and it's so much better if you can learn it in a supportive environment, especially as now you can't just go down to the local college and go to an evening class.
No.
You have to sort of learn it online.
And I'm not sure that anybody's ever, I wonder if people are ever going to go back to how they were. There's so much conversation about it now. But I don't know about you, but I find learning online now, like even when you go to networking things, I've been to networking things before now, and it's taken me, I thought this is going to be brilliant, and it takes you half an hour to drive there, and it takes you half an hour to get back, and then when you get there you think, oh, this is rubbish, and this is wasting 2 hours out of my day. Whereas if you're online, it's just so easy to just click off if it's no good and leave. So I really like the online space. I'm really enjoying it. So what are your long-term plans, Lucy, and how is it going to affect your life?
Well, at the moment, because you know, as I said, you know, we've had to close in COVID and things have changed, and you know, sometimes, you know, we used to clean, say, second homes, and of course those people haven't been around. All of my clients have come back now. All the elderly clients, the vulnerable clients, have restarted, but some of them only recently. So at the moment, my short-term goal is to just get the business back to where it was, where it's really steady every month. So you could make, you know, good plans because you knew what was going on and how many people to employ and all of that. Long term is I'd like to grow a side of the business where perhaps we've got ethical gifts and products. So I'm talking to somebody about that, because I think, especially during COVID, where we had to go through the, you know, the process of being shut. Yeah, and I think actually I need another side to the business.
Income,
sort of complementary. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, so it's just to grow the business and to have a different side to it, I think.
Yeah, and I'm all for that. You know, I'm talking all the time that everybody should have several income streams. And I was saying it long before COVID, but if COVID didn't teach us anything else, is that we need different income streams. So that I'm really excited to see what you're going to do with that, because that's and that also frees up your time. You're not constantly trading time for money because you have something that you're selling online. So I'm really excited about that. Can't wait to see that. I really can't wait to see that. So just before we finish, what advice, if there was somebody watching this and they're feeling a little bit stuck, or they're thinking, what should I do next, or should I carry on, or whatever it is, that I need some help, I need some accountability, because we all get to those little places where we need a little bit of help and support. Like you said, you joined it because you joined the WOWS Hub because you needed some help and support, and it would just had everything that you needed at the time. And you are actually such a brilliant and active member of the WOWS Hub, so thank you for that. But what would be your advice to anybody who's got a company, who's thinking about starting off, or who has one that's feeling a little bit stuck? What would be your advice to them?
I would say if I had my time again, I would read as many business books as you can, good ones, you know, like the E-Myth by Michael Gerber, just so that you sort of realize that you're meant to work on your business, not in your business. Because I think a lot of people, not just women, but a lot of people go into business because it's their trade, but it's sort of like having a job rather than having a helicopter view of your business.
Yeah.
So I would definitely say read as much as you can. I would also say join a group, but you might have to look around for the right group, as I did, to find, because I think you need a lot of support when you start a business, and getting to know other business people helps, as you know, if they're mutually supportive. So I would definitely say try networking online or locally if you can, but don't be disappointed if you don't find the right group. First of all, you'll find the right group eventually. And yeah, otherwise, and also just be realistic that when you first go into being self-employed, you know, you do have to plan ahead. You know, it can take time to build a business. So you might need to say, stay in your job for a while and do your business part-time, or just have, you know, plan out the first 6 months at least so that you know you're going to be okay while you're building your business.
Yeah, all really good advice, all really good advice. It's definitely important for people to plan. It's definitely important for people to understand there's two sides to a business, like you say, not just the skill that you have, that you love and you think I can make a business out of this, that you actually need to know how to run a business. And I just think support is important. I know all our families and friends are very, very supportive generally, but they don't. It's different when you actually talk to people who are in the same situation as you, who are running a business, who, you know, are in midlife, who are, you know, who can just identify to everything that you're going through, or you can identify to them. You said earlier about when you do the goal setting or something like that, even though everybody's got different businesses, we all learn from each other, and you think, oh, no, I can try that, or that's really good. That just really helps, doesn't it? It helps with your whole positiveness for business, because it's really hard doing it on your own, isn't it?
It is. And when you work from home, you know, you can, even if you've got a team, you can feel quite isolated, because a lot of, you know, when you're doing the admin or the marketing, you tend to be doing it on your own when you've got a small business. Whereas, you know, if you've come from somewhere where you're constantly surrounded by colleagues, if you have a problem, you just ask the person next to you. But when you're running your own business, it's not the same.
Exactly. Yeah, it's exactly. So having that network is so, so important. And I think that is one of the things that people forget when they're leaving a job. They want to leave their job because of whatever reason they want to leave their job. But you actually, so many people say, I miss I'm so glad I'm not going on commuting or whatever it is that's driven them to want to do something on their own. But they often quite miss the camaraderie in the office.
Yeah, I would agree with that completely. Yes. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I don't miss commuting, but yeah, sometimes, you know, if you do have problems and you are in a, you know, biggish workplace, there's always somebody to chat to, or, you know, somebody to approach, and you have to replace that side of things, you know, when you start your own business.
Yeah, definitely. Anyway, Lucy, thank you so much for taking time to chat with me today. It has been a pleasure. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to see the extra income streams that are coming in. You are a really, really brilliant and supportive member of the WOWS Hub. So thank you for that. And I can't wait to see what the future holds for you, because I just know it's going to be exciting. Eco and all this sort of thing. I just can't wait to see where your business goes in the future. So thank you very much, and I wish you an excellent end of your day, and I will see you soon.